Diehards assemble for one sweet hour.
You're just going to stick your fork in there?
Sweet treat powerhouses throw down decadent desserts
Oh my God.
that you can make at home.
They're super gooey on the inside.
And one you gotta see to believe. Plus, Rachel's sweet and savory one-pan dinner. Next, Rachel.
Weekdays at 3 on WDAY.
I started drinking more to deal with stress. Without my realizing it, alcohol took over my life. At Alcoholics Anonymous, I've found help from people who know what I've been through. Now, I have hope. Alcoholics Anonymous. Look for us in the phone book or on the web at aa.org.
You're watching WDAY Extra. Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something. Is
Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having a great start to their morning. Yes, Dom Izzo is not in the office today. The voice is a little bit different, and it will be a little bit different for this next week. Dom is taking some well-deserved vacation time, taking the next week off. I know there was a tweet. It's his son's birthday, his wedding anniversary, so some big things to celebrate for Dom. So I will be filling in for him until next Wednesday. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Logan Campbell, and I work here at WDAY. All right, we got a really, really packed show today. Lots to talk about. And when I was talking with Dom before this, he was like, Logan, just so you know, if Vegas wins the Stanley Cup, there's not going to be a whole lot for you to talk about on Thursday because nothing is happening. But good thing we have some breaking news this morning and some big news that happened last night. So we're going to get the show rolling right away. We're going to start with the big news that came last night, which is the SEC dropped their opponents for this coming football year. So, Eric, let's pull up that one. These look tough. These look really tough. My sister, she went to South Carolina, and she was texting us, and she goes, all right, we're literally going to win maybe 3 games this year. For next year, I mean. Yeah, it looks a little tough. The one that really stands out to me is Florida. Florida, I think, might have one of the, if not the toughest schedules in the SEC. You got LSU, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas. And also, I don't know if anyone else is adjusted to this, but it is still so weird to me to see Oklahoma and Texas with this group. I'm still not used to it. What do you guys think? Who do you think has the hardest schedule? Alabama kind of has a cakewalk, in my opinion. You think Florida has the hardest one? Eric says. LSU's looks a little bit tough. Those are some pretty heavy lifters in some of those schedules. But yeah, as always, please tweet at me. Please email me. I love to get you guys involved in the show. You know, let me know who you guys think has the hardest schedule. If you have any questions that randomly pop up, please feel free to shoot me an email or shoot me a tweet. I love answering your guys' questions and getting you all involved. Yes, we just got this tweet. We're going to get there in a little bit. Other news that I saw last night from Adam Schefter. comes from a familiar face here in Fargo, Carson Wentz. So last we heard from him was that he was released from the Washington Commanders after this past season. We haven't heard much about him since, but last night a report came out from Adam Schefter that he has been doing some off-season workouts down in Tampa with John Gruden. So he's been throwing and studying film, and his intent is to play this season, but he's waiting the right situation. There was also a report a few months ago that he is open to potentially taking a backup role. That's where I see him fitting in as. I don't see him fitting in anywhere as a starting quarterback. I see him going somewhere as a backup, a solid backup option. But like he said, he's waiting for the right situation. I don't know what that right situation would be for him. Just based off of what I saw last season with the Commanders, 62%, which is a career low, 1,755 yards and 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Again, he did play injured. He broke his finger, so he was hurt. But I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see if a team is going to go after him. I have absolutely no guesses on which team would go after him. I hope he does end up somewhere. But when I look at all of these teams and their lineups that they have at the quarterbacks, I just don't see him really fitting in anywhere. And I think that this will be interesting to see what comes out, what he thinks is the right situation for him. Where would you guys like to see Carson Wentz end up? We've seen him in Philly, seen him in Indianapolis, and we've seen him in Washington. Yeah, I don't know where I would see him. I don't know where I see him fitting in. But speaking of Indianapolis, we had some breaking news this morning. Some very exciting breaking news. Yep, play the sound, Eric. This one I'm actually really excited about. We've been following all the former Bison and their post-NDSU careers, and now we have another pro Bison, and that comes with Michael Tutsi. It was announced this morning that he has landed a spot with an Indianapolis Colts, his hometown team. That's pretty cool. And I know that this has been a tough path for him to get a spot on this team. I'm pulling up the article. So he participated in the Colts rookie and veteran camps on a tryout basis, and now he's with the team. I know from my conversations that I had with him throughout last year was that this is the team he wanted to play for. You know, this is the team he grew up watching. His family is right there. He has a daughter, so his parents can help him out with Sarai. And I think it is very well deserved. You know what? We knew Cody was going to go somewhere. We knew Nash Jensen was going to go somewhere. We knew Noah, Hunter, even Spencer. We knew that they were all going to go somewhere. But the question marks were with Michael, Destin Talbert, and Dawson Weber. And they've all been trying out at all these different places. So it's really cool to see him not give up on his dream and land on an NFL roster. So he landed a spot because their 5th round pick, Daniel Scott, was placed on the injured reserve list with a torn ACL. So that's really exciting for him. So he made the 90-man roster. Obviously, you got to keep pushing. You want to make the 53-man roster by the time July, August comes around. So it'll be interesting to see if he lands on there. At NDSU, he started 56 of 68 games, 338 tackles, 11 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. So not a bad career that he had here at NDSU, as you all know. So it'll be really exciting to see how his journey continues in the NFL. Also last night, speaking of NDSU football, there is another Bison commit. We're going to have him on the show at 9:20. Let's pull up the guest list. We have a really packed show today, a really fun show today. So he'll be coming on at 9:20. Coy Okeson. He'll be coming on. He is from Bishop Ryan in Minot. We'll be chatting with him about his decision to come to NDSU because he had lots and lots of offers, FBS offers. So we'll get some intel on that. I'm excited to talk with him. We also have Tristan Rorich and Chris Coast with the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks. For those of you who didn't know, Tristan played baseball. He was a pitcher here at NDSU. Over the weekend, he signed with the Redhawks and got his first start. So I was able to catch up with them earlier this week before their games with Kansas City and just chat with them about what that process was like, because I didn't know that that was happening. I don't think a lot of people knew that that was happening, which is really exciting. And they actually have an interesting relationship because Chris coached him in Legion Ball for West Fargo back in 2017. So we got some good stuff coming up there. At 10 o'clock, we got some local golfers, NDSU golfers, Nate DeZiel, Ian Simonich coming in. We have the Red River Am coming up next weekend, so we're going to chat with them a little bit about that. Both of them competed in it last year. Ian was so close to winning it all. So close, so we're going to ask him about what happened last year and just what it's like playing in that tournament. We will be televising that all weekend long on WDAY Extra, starting on Friday. We got you covered all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got all of the tournament covered. And then at 10:35, my good friend Gabe Henderson, who is a team reporter for the Minnesota Vikings, will hop on the show. He is so busy with camp wrapping up, so I really appreciate him coming on and giving me some time. And he's going to chat with us about what he saw at camp. Lots to talk about with the Vikings, with Danielle Hunter, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, the defense in general. So hopefully he'll be able to give us some answers. I know that we have Coy Okeson, who is one of the newest faces for the Bison, coming up later on the show. But North Dakota State is known for finding these golden treasures here in North Dakota on the line. This year, AJ Hines, who is from New Salem Almont High School, he is going to be an incoming freshman, and he's going to play guard he's expected to play guard for NDSU. And I had the pleasure to go out to Wing, North Dakota and see what his life is like on a daily basis, because let me tell you, it is a lot different than what my life was like in high school. And I thought it was pretty neat. So take a look at what AJ Hines is like and what his day is like every day as a high schooler.
Some people might say small town North Dakota is the best North Dakota, and that certainly is the case for AJ Hines. Bison fans, this is a name you're going to want to get to know pretty fast because he will be one of the newest faces on NDSU football this fall. AJ is hoping to bring his blue-collar work ethic all the way from central North Dakota to Fargo this fall, because that is something that was instilled in him literally since the day he was born.
I was kind of born in it. 3 days after I was born, I went to my uncle and grandpa's bull sale. So, yeah. So it's kind of just literally born with it.
During the week, if AJ Hines isn't at New Salem Almont High School, you can find him on his uncle's ranch in Wing, North Dakota.
So how are you able to do this kind of stuff with school?
Well, I have a lot of upset teachers. But no, I mean, I talk to my teachers and stuff and get it all kind of lined out, especially when I know, like, this week, Monday and Tuesday, I was going to be gone, and, like, last week I was gone Wednesday and Thursday for AI and heifers and taking stuff to pasture. So just kind of communicating and letting them know I'm going to be gone and getting everything kind of sorted out.
What's your favorite part?
I really like to calf the cows out. I mean, it's just something to, you know, go out in the wintertime because it's winter 6 months around here. So go out and pulling calves in the barn and checking stuff in the wintertime. And the one thing that I really like is seeing something that I breed the cow to what I want and calve it out and get it through the summer and into the fall, and hopefully for the bull calves they're good enough to go on the sale.
Showing AJ the ropes on the ranch is his dad, Tony.
Hey. Even as a young kid, I mean, all he wanted to do was work. And all I wanted to do is help people. And we'd go to shows and whatever, and he'd have his stuff done, and he'd go help other people unload their livestock or their tack or whatever, help them set up. And like I say, from a young age, I knew he was going to be able to do whatever he wanted to do in his life.
On top of ranching, AJ is one of the top wrestlers and 9-man football players in the state. But it was his raw talent in football that set him apart.
So why football?
Because I wanted to play D1. I mean, I wanted to kind of have that sense and show that I can be D1 quality.
Quickly noticing the 6'3", 290-pound lineman was FCS powerhouse North Dakota State football.
That's what he wanted, and his work ethic is unbelievable. So there was no doubt once he decided that he was going to achieve that goal.
Are you nervous or excited to come to NDSU in July?
I'm excited. I think it'll be fun, good experience, and definitely gonna have to work hard, but it's gonna be a good experience.
So when you see someone like Cody Malk get drafted, I mean, does that just kind of motivate you a little bit more?
Yeah, and you see the transformation pictures and what he came in as and how he ended up. I mean, it gives you some sense, like, that's a goal, like you have to live up to that and kind of keep it going for walk-on lineman in North Dakota.
Being one of 25 newcomers for the Bison, AJ is a little different from the rest of his class.
Is there anyone similar to you?
I'm definitely going to be an outcast. I won't have much to talk about. I won't have the new Xbox games and stuff like that.
Do you like that, though, that you are a little bit different from a typical high schooler?
Yeah, I mean, it's given me so much sense of responsibility and what it takes to get out and make a living. It's just a sense of responsibility where, get asked to do something and it's not, well, I'm playing my games or stuff like that. So it's probably been one of the best things that my parents have done for me is not get me one of them.
But it's his blue-collar background that's giving this freshman an advantage.
How do you think this kind of work translates into the game of football?
Well, manual labor. I mean, those are the two. That's the thing that combines the both. The best, I think, is manual labor. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get up in the morning and go and do chores and calf cows out, and it's going to take a lot of work to get up in the morning, go lift and run and do all that. So manual labor is going to be huge, and mental toughness. I mean, this industry is not for the mentally weak.
Reporting for Sports Sunday, I'm Logan Campbell. It was so much fun getting to spend the day out there with some of our crew, and they had the cutest dog. Her name is Stella. I think about her all the time. She was the cutest little bloodhound, and she just followed everyone around the whole entire day. So cute. But when I was talking with his family and with AJ, he told me that when he gets here, the NDSU football coaches want him to grow 2 inches. He's already 6'4". They want him to get around 6'6". And he said that in his family, they normally grow 3 to 4 inches once they hit college, which I thought your growth spurt pretty much happened in high school. So that'll be pretty interesting to see his transformation pictures. He talked about Cody's, but I think that AJ's will be pretty impressive once he is a senior here at NDSU. But yeah, he's got a cool background, and I really enjoyed sharing those stories. And speaking of those stories, I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago when I came on with Dom. We are looking for high schoolers with this blue-collar background. So if you know of anyone anywhere in the state, please feel free to shoot me an email. We love telling these stories. We love going out and just seeing these different walks of life. So you can email me at lcampbell@wday.com. We want to keep doing some of these stories because I think they're so much fun, and you guys seem to like them. So yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the newest commit for NDSU football will join me on Hot Mic. You're watching on WDUI Extra and KSFL.
On the next Tamron Hall, actress Jennifer Grey talks about her ripped from the headlines role. It tells the story of an astonishing rise and shocking fall of a controversial religious leader accused of creating a weight loss cult. We've never seen you take on a role like this one.
I've never seen me take on a role like this one.
It's Jennifer like you've never seen her before. Plus, we finally get an update on the Dirty Dancing sequel Jennifer is executive producing next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@wday.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday next week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
We need to go meet the guys. I'm lit. Can you drive?
Nope, I'm high. How about they come over?
Where?
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
They come to us, abandoned, lost, and all alone, in need of care through no fault of their own. They ask so little, but give so much. All they seek in return, a loving home and a gentle touch. They warm your heart with a wet-nosed kiss or gentle purr, proving that a pet's a gift of love wrapped up in fur. Stop in today at the Homeward Animal Shelter. We'll bring you and your new best friend together.
We don't have time for this!
Insanity!
911, what's your emergency?
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfilled. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. Dom Izzo out for the week. I am Logan Campbell, and I'll be filling in for him. We got an exciting guest. Last night, news came out that NDSU football has received one of its newest commits on the offensive line, and his name is Coy Okinson. Coy, welcome. How are you? Has it hit you yet that you have officially committed to NDSU?
Kind of settling.
You said it's settling in?
Yeah.
So what has the reaction been like from your family and friends once you sent this tweet out?
They all love NDSU. So they're just so happy I'm going there.
Yeah, I mean, for you, how cool is it that you get to go and play for the school that is in your home state?
It's really cool. It's a great opportunity. I'm really thankful.
So I was looking around, and you had some pretty big offers. You had some from Nebraska, Air Force, Wyoming. Why NDSU? What stood out about them?
I just liked how personal the coaches were and how they all like I like the O-line coach. I like the program, and I don't know. It's just gut feeling.
So Dan Larson, the offensive line coach, I'm assuming that's who you were in contact with the most. What were those conversations like with him?
He was just really he wasn't pushing at all, and he was, I don't know, he was good coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach. When you came here, did you just feel when you came to campus that this felt like home?
Yeah.
What about it felt like home?
It just felt like North Dakota, like where I've always grown up.
So when you went to Nebraska, Wyoming, all these other schools, you know, what didn't make it feel like home for you?
It just felt far. Like I didn't like how far it all was and new stuff. Yeah.
So what position did Dan Larson tell you that he wants you to play here at NDSU?
He said he'll probably want me at guard, but I can play tackle or center, he said.
Okay. Is there one that you like playing a little bit more than the others?
Not really. I like them all.
What makes you such a good player at the guard position, Coy?
My change of direction, like for all the pulls and the pass sets.
So you wrestle as well, correct? What
Yep.
made you want to pursue football?
Football is just my passion. I don't know. I like football so much. Like wrestling is fun, but it's a really draining sport.
Yes, and the crazy diets that you guys have to go on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could never do that. I have no self-control when it comes to food. Why do you love football so much?
I just love being with my team,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I like the O-line because I can, move people, and I just do what I want to do to them.
So, what did your high school football coach help you at all in this process and in this decision making?
Not really in the decision making. He was kind of, yeah, he did help a lot. He talked to a lot of coaches. He was very, very good.
What
But
was?
he didn't really
Sorry, go ahead.
sway me anyway.
Did he give you any advice throughout this process?
He said go wherever would make me the happiest.
And that's NDSU because it feels like home, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So, NDSU has like a long history of creating these great offensive linemen that have careers in the NFL. We have Dylan Radins, Cordell Volson, now Cody Malk. Did that have any play in your decision making to coming to NDSU?
A little. I mean, it's a great program. It's hard to beat,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes away from where Cordell's from, and I got people that live where Cody's from, and I just know them.
When you see those transformation pictures and you see them come in as these freshmen and they grow into these large men by the time they leave this school, are you excited for that aspect of, coming to NDSU?
Yeah, I really am. I want to just see how it turns out.
So when you're talking with Dan and Matt Entz about it, where did they say that they want to see growth within you? Have you had those conversations yet?
Yeah, because I come from a small school, I can't really tone in on one specific position. I played a lot of positions, and I just the technique isn't all there because I have to learn it so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just excited for me to, tone in on the offensive line.
I know you just committed last night, but what are you the most excited for throughout this whole entire process?
Just getting to know all the teammates and everybody there.
Mm-hmm. Have you talked to any, because you're the fourth person to commit, have you had any conversations with any of the other guys that have already committed to NDSU?
Yeah, I've talked to Nate, and I've talked a little bit to Peter.
What did they say to you?
They're just telling me how NDSU is the way to go. And all that.
Love to hear that. And, Peter's from North Dakota. Do you guys already have this connection because you're from the same state?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Did you guys ever play with or against each other?
No, but I went to camps with Nate, and we've been on like the same team for some of those camps.
Okay, so what's that connection like between you guys?
It's pretty cool, and he's a good guy.
That's awesome. And that's great that you're already building these connections before you actually get here. But you're going into your senior year of high school. What's the goals for you football-wise this coming year?
I hope our team does well. I hope we get a good playoff run. We've had a tradition of pretty good playoff runs, and then this last year wasn't the greatest for our team, but I hope we do good in the season.
What do you got to do to get back on track?
We gotta stick to our bread and butter.
What is the bread and butter of Bishop Ryan?
Run the ball. Yeah.
Run the ball, and you will be doing a lot of that here at NDSU, and that's because of all the blocking that you'll be doing up front. Coy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Congratulations on committing to NDSU.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Have a great rest of your day, Coy. It was so great getting to catch up with you.
You too.
All right, everyone. That is Coy Okeson, the newest verbal commit to NDSU football. Like I said, he is now the fourth person to verbally commit to NDSU this season. So, class of 2024 is continuing to build for the Bison. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Hot Mic right after this.
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report. Join me right here each weekend as we explore the news and issues that matter most to agriculture. We know each year farmers and ranchers are thrown challenges, but as agriculture continues to adapt, we are right there with you. From markets to weather, we take a deep dive into what matters most to agriculture and rural America.
Saturdays at 6 a.m.
We got lots of money over here.
I want to go for it.
So do I. Let's do it. You bet your life.
Give me the money. More money. $5,000.
Boosting the economy.
You seriously asking me this question, Jay? Coney Island. What are we doing over here?
Every weekday.
Yeah, give me that money. Oh, yeah. I'm going to give it to you like an Italian uncle. Here you go. You get yourself a little something there. There you go, right there.
Weekdays at 3:30 p.m.
I've been doing this for a long time. Somebody has to stand up for victims.
Detective Stabler, my partner, Detective Benson.
The world is changing. It took a lot of courage to get up on that stand. There's no stigma in coming forward. Please help me stop him.
He's not gonna ever be able to hurt you again.
I promise you,
I'll protect you.
I'm not gonna stop until we find this guy.
Weekdays at 12 p.m.
This is a murder mystery of epic proportions.
You get this picture of a jealous guy, thinks she's got a lover, and bang, she's dead.
What possessed you to do that?
Could this be a murder for hire? When you've got something that was this bad,
somebody's got to pay.
Dateline.
Weekdays at 1 p.m.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. The truth is, Parkinson's disease doesn't just affect the diagnosed. It affects everyone who supports and helps care for them. Worldwide, over 10 million people are living with Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement. And with so many places to search for information, it can be difficult to know where to begin. The Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Answers for everyone in the fight. We can help you understand the disease, help you find expert care, give you tips for living a better life, share the latest research, help you find local support, and there's a free helpline you can call. Find your answers and join us in the fight against Parkinson's. To learn more, please go to parkinson.org or call 1-800-4PD-INFO. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Today,
1 in 5 working-age Americans has a mental health condition.
People in all types of jobs and at all levels.
And the key to helping us succeed is a supportive and inclusive workplace.
All of us have a role to play in making that happen.
So what can I do to help?
As a CEO, I can set the tone for supportive culture.
As a manager, I can offer assistance and accommodations.
As a coworker, I can listen and be a source of support to my colleagues.
As someone with a mental health condition, I can ask for what I need to perform my best.
I can offer all employees the supports they need to deliver on the job, for the team
and for the business.
What can I do?
What can I do?
What can I do?
I can remind others
that we all benefit from workplaces that promote good mental health.
Mental health-friendly workplaces are more important than ever.
And all of us have a role to play in promoting them.
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Welcome back to Hot Mic. Hope everyone's having a great start to their Thursday morning. Feels like a Friday today. I don't know why, but I was full of energy. Literally before the show started, Eric and Logan were like, why do you have so much energy today? And I'm not a morning person, so I don't know. Well, I do know where this came from. Probably my 3 cups of coffee. You all know I love coffee, and I just needed a lot of it this morning. Especially because I just came back from a trip, which was so fun. So I took a long weekend last week, and I went to visit Tampa. So I have a bunch of friends that have moved to Tampa. I don't know why, but there's becoming like this mass exodus from DC. So how it normally works is if you go to JMU, UVA, or Virginia Tech, the next spot where you normally end up at is DC. But for whatever reason, everyone has been there for 2-3 years. They're all moving to either Tampa, New York City, Austin, Texas, or Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't know why everyone's moving, but everyone is, which is exciting. I would say I started the trend because I was the first one to move to North Dakota. No one's moving to North Dakota, but I was the first one to move out. But anyways, so I went to visit a bunch of my friends that live down in Tampa, and it was the best weekend. It like just being in the water, being by the coast was just, that's where I'm meant to be. Love being down there. But on like Thursday, I was there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Thursday and Friday, my friends were taking me to all the spots that they like to eat and drink at. So we went to this bar called American Social. It's right on the water. And what I didn't realize is Tampa isn't that big of a city. I'm trying to figure, I don't know what I would even compare it to. If you've been to Charlotte, it's a lot smaller than Charlotte, and Charlotte's not that big. You can walk literally everywhere. We walked everywhere. I think I walked like 15 miles a day because we just spent all the time walking. We didn't Uber ever. We took these things called Birds, which are these little scooters. I don't think they have those here, but they're these like scooters that you can rent and you just get to ride them around. Really efficient way to get from point A to point B. Anyways, that's besides the point. So we went to this bar called American Social, and there was the spot at the bar that I was sitting at, and I didn't realize it when I was sitting there, but it was a plaque, and it said Ric Flair's seat, and then it said Nature Boy because that was his WWE nickname. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, does Ric Flair live here in Tampa? And they're like, oh, yeah, like people see him around like all the time. Like he's just like a normal person, all that kind of stuff. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, I guess I'm sitting in a spot, and all my friends were joking or like, yeah, like what is he going to do? Come in here and make you move? And I was like, yeah, like that would just be so crazy and random. 30 minutes later, I feel these hands on my shoulder, and all my friends were sitting next to me. So I'm like, okay, it's none of them. Is it someone that I didn't know that lives down here that just recognized me? And I turn around and I see this older man. Keep in mind, I had no idea what Ric Flair looked like. Like, no idea. I see this older man, and I'm like, oh, hi. And he's just looking at me. I was like, do you want to sit down? Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, because he was older. Like, I was like, oh, you can have my seat. And then he points at the plaque, and he goes, well, this is my seat. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, I totally knew that. I was like, go ahead. Like, my bad for sitting in it. And then he just started, like, laughing. And he was like, no, like, you're fine. Like, you can sit there. But once I leave, like, I got to sit in my seat. And all the bartenders knew him, whatever. And he was, like, making fun of me. And I felt like so awkward because I had no idea who he was. I was like, oh my God, like I had no idea that was Ric Flair. And then my friend, like everyone just starts coming up to him, taking pictures, asking for autographs, all this kind of stuff, like doing the woo thing that he does. And I was just like sitting there like, what just happened? And then he looks at me, he goes, I'm buying you all the drinks and I'm buying you dinner tonight. And so he bought me like literally all the drinks and bought me dinner. He bought me salmon. He was like, I know what you're getting here. This is my favorite thing here. So he bought me this like nice salmon dinner and we were eating it together. Well, he was eating off my plate. I was like, that's fine. Like you can have it. And then he was like, take my phone and order. I just sounded Midwest. Oh my gosh, when I said phone. But he said, take my phone and order Maggiano's, which is like this Italian restaurant that's like a chain on the East Coast. So I ordered him meatballs to the bar because he wanted to eat meatballs. And he was chugging these vodka crayons. And I was just like, what the heck is my life right now? Like, what? Like, who does this happen to? And literally, so he was there for like 2 hours and then left. And my friends looked at me and they're like, Logan, why does this stuff only happen to you? I have no idea. No idea. I should have a reality TV show at this point because the most random things happen to me on a weekly basis. You would think my life is like made up. Seriously, I told my family and they're like, there's no way that he did that. And for those of you who don't know who Ric Flair is, I put together a clip. So if we could roll that. Yeah, that's what everyone was doing at the bar. They're going, woo, woo. And he was doing it too. And I was like, what is happening right now? It was so crazy. Then people started coming up to me. They're like, how do you know Ric Flair? I'm like, I just met him. I don't know who he is. He was very nice though. But like what you saw on TV is literally what he is like in person. Like he was just like that. Very loud. Very nice though. But like who just sees Ric Flair? It was crazy. It was a time and a half. I highly recommend Tampa. If you ever get some vacation time, definitely go down to Tampa. Go to American Social too because the food was actually really, really good. And it was like a cool town. Like I said, you could walk everywhere. And then we spent the day at St. Pete Beach, which is like 45 minutes away. Spent the day on a boat on the beach. It was awesome. So awesome. So yes, everyone make that road trip or fly to Tampa. You can see Cody play at Raymond James Stadium. Lots to do down there. Lots to do. So I highly recommend. All right. So that was my random story of the day that I just wanted to share with everyone. So yeah, Ric Flair bought me dinner and drinks. Weird flex. I know, but I'm going to flex it. And like I said, the most random things happen to me. And I'm sure that a million other random things will happen to me within this next week. But that's enough of that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk some more sports. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL.
Who let the dogs out? Laney's has, and the 2-for-Deal special is back. If your furnace and air conditioner are over 10 years old, it's possible they've gone to the dogs. They're more prone to roll over and break down, and they're also a lot less efficient. Let Laney's help you fetch a free air conditioner with their 2-for-Deal. For a limited time, when you purchase a qualifying Coleman high-efficiency furnace, you will receive a Coleman air conditioning unit free. Call Laney's for details. The dog days of summer will be here before you know it.
828 is just great.
We're going to make peanut butter chocolate pie.
Dessert diehards assemble for one sweet hour.
You're just going to stick your fork in there?
Sweet treat powerhouses throw down decadent desserts.
Oh my God.
That you can make at home.
They're super gooey on the inside.
And one you gotta see to believe. Plus, Rachel's sweet and savory one-pan dinner. Next, Rachel.
Weekdays at 3 on WDAY.
There are places, people, and conditions in this world that almost seem beyond hope. But not when Mercy Ships is there. Mercy Ships is a place restoring sight to the blind, normalcy to the deformed, beauty and happiness to the outcast, and joy to the brokenhearted.
And many times you could almost see the life coming back into them. Can't beat that.
Mercy Ships is the largest floating civilian hospital in the world, staffed with some of the most skilled volunteer medical professionals and crew. Mercy Ships is the reason why hope is now in sight for those who need it most. To learn more, go to mercyships.org today.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found the path to recovery that worked for me. Treatment helped me come to terms with the issues in my life that caused me to use drugs. And I found better ways to cope. Learning I had a substance use disorder helped me realize I needed to make a change. The road to recovery is different for everyone. There were good days and bad days. But I found strength in seeking help. My friends and family made a huge difference in my recovery. I never gave up. I found my path, and I keep walking it every day. Find the path that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is gonna be Addie's room.
I am blind.
You're really gonna like it.
I hope so. Yeah. I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
The ways down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know this road is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me. Oh.
Welcome back to Hot Mic. I'm sorry. That is just the funniest shot to come out on. All right, welcome back to Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL. Dom Izzo out for the week. Yeah, the week. I'll be filling in for him. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but I wasn't expecting that to be the shot to come out on. Anyways, let's talk some Red Hawks. They're currently fighting for first in their division with Kansas City. I didn't see the score last night, actually. Let's take a look at that. But over the weekend, did 8-5 them? Loss. Okay, so that's now 2 losses to Kansas City. That's all right. Still early in the season. But over the weekend, I saw a tweet saying that Tristan Rorich, who has played at NDSU, he was a pitcher for NDSU, pitched for the Red Hawks. And I was like, wait, what? Like, when did this happen? So I was able to stop up there earlier this week and chat with Tristan and Chris Coast just about how this all came together. Take a listen.
My first question is, when did this come into fruition for you?
You know, a week or so after the season started, Coast got a hold of me and told me we should talk that day, and gave me a call later that night and told me that he wanted me to come play. So I kind of just thought about it a little bit and then told him I'll see what my best options are right now, and then eventually just decided that this was the best role for me and came and played for the team.
Did you ever want any downtime before you started playing baseball again?
It's kind of nice to give the arm a break a little bit, but it's also, when the arm gets a break, then it kind of wears down, like it's not as strong as it was. So having a couple weeks off was probably perfect. Just play and catch and get a bullpen in or two and then come play here.
So what was that conversation with Coach like when he called you?
Just said that he'd be interested in having me come play. He's seen me play, he knows what I can do. He coached me in my junior year of Legion, so it was kind of nice, and it's nice that I already know who he is.
Mm-hmm. You said you wanted to see what your options were. What were your options?
I was looking potentially for the draft or to sign after the draft, but wasn't getting as much interest as that I wanted. Okay. So signed here and hopefully can go from here to affiliated team.
So you just had your debut the other weekend. So when he told you were going to start, how are you feeling?
That also, in the phone call, he mentioned that I was a starter at NDSU, so he was hoping that I can come here and start. So, I mean, it kind of was a surprise to me. I figured I'd go back to the bullpen, but I know it was fun, nerve-wracking, but.
Were you nervous when you first went out there?
I didn't think I was, but then once I got out there and my mind was going a million miles an hour and kind of got sped up, and in the second inning I kind of slowed myself down and came back.
Do you remember what you were thinking?
Just go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
Don't try and do too much. Stick to what I do, and hopefully good things will happen.
So in the second inning, when did things kind of start clicking for you?
Just in my warm-up pitches, I just really slowed myself down and didn't try to do too much, and started finding the strike zone a little bit more, so that helped.
When you got your first strikeout, do you remember what that moment was like for you?
Yeah, it was nice because I couldn't really find the strike zone and ended up striking someone out, so that felt really good, and then kind of locked in from there a little bit too.
How different is it playing for the American Association from collegiate baseball?
I think the biggest difference is the talent of the hitters and the strike zone, because the strike zone is a lot smaller than in college.
So when you were trying to make this decision, did you talk to anyone at NDSU about it?
Yeah, I was in contact with Oaks and Hunt, and then some high school guys I know too. They kind of just helped me look at my options. Yeah.
What was their advice to you?
They basically said that it's good baseball. I mean, they've sent 2 guys to affiliated ball already, so just go there, do your thing, and see what happens.
Okay, so 1 game down for you. What are your expectations for the next time you go out there?
I just got to keep moving forward. I mean, it's hard to go down from there, but just keep going forward, find the strike zone, and let your defense play.
Relationship with Coast, having that previous relationship with him, how much has that helped you just kind of get settled in and get comfortable?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, going to a locker room of basically all new guys, it's sometimes nerve-wracking, but I mean, the guys have been great, and knowing Coast, he's full of jokes and loves telling stories, so it's good.
Did you ever think that you would be playing, first of all, collegiate baseball in your own backyard, and now professional baseball in your own backyard?
The collegiate baseball I kind of could see, but playing here I didn't really ever imagine that.
Yeah. Is that cool, or is it?
It's kind of cool. It's cool that, these guys actually get a pretty decent crowd, so it's a lot different.
How different are the crowds? Well, I mean, you're not playing in the middle of spring where it's 10 degrees, but.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot bigger, I would say, but there's always just that constant chatter going on, so it's not ever quiet like it is at NDSU.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Is that helpful?
I think it kind of just keeps the atmosphere better and keeps you engaged in the game.
Cool. What do your parents think, that they can just drive right down the street and still watch you play?
I mean, I think it's pretty cool, and just playing professional baseball, they're proud of me, so that's makes me feel good.
I was talking with Tristan yesterday, and when I saw that he was on the team, we all were kind of surprised. We didn't know that this was going to happen. When did you start talking with him about coming to play for the Red Hawks?
I had been in contact with his college coach just a little bit when their season was starting to wrap up a little bit, just to kind of see what his thoughts were, potentially if he was going to get drafted, and what his desires were. And I've known Tristan since 2017 when I coached him in Legion ball, so I've been following him along, and he had such a successful career that I wanted to see where he wanted his career to go, and So when he made the decision to make this happen, I was happy to provide him with this opportunity.
So when you first called him, what did you say to him?
Well, it was a little bit more of me asking if this is something he wanted, because with a college pitcher like him who may or may not get drafted and have a good year, a lot of times those type of pitchers don't want to come here right away, because if they don't do well, maybe it hurts their chances. So it wasn't like, sometimes when I call guys, it's exciting, but with him it was more exciting for me because I wanted him to be a part of this. And so when he agreed to it, I think I was probably more excited than he was.
He told me that you told him he was going to start right away. Is that normal for someone coming out of college ball to start for a team like you guys?
Well, if they're good enough. The serious part of that is we wanted to sign him when he was available. And it just so happened that when he became available, we had a need for him to start quickly. If he was going to agree to be with us, he was going to be a starter and fill that role. It's just, like I said, it just so happened, like right when he was ready, we had the perfect day for him, and it worked out really well.
What are your thoughts on his first outing with you guys?
Well, it certainly could have gone worse, and it's only going to get better. He got humbled a little bit, but that is a common occurrence. One of our other young college pitchers gave up 3 runs before he got an out, and he's been amazing ever since. And so that's what we kept telling Tristan. It's like, you're going to give up some runs right away. And, you could tell there's a little bit of nerves, but the stuff was there. The fastball was there. The slider was there. And once he got that first out, once he got through that first inning, things got a lot better, and it's only going to get better from here.
When did you notice it started clicking in that first game?
It was after the first inning, because it was just like when Jake Dykoff pitched for us just a few weeks ago in his debut. It was like he was making some amazing pitches, had some bad luck, gave up a few hard hits, and then just couldn't seem to get that first out. And then once Tristan got through that first inning, you could see, okay, now he's back to being Tristan. And it doesn't matter what level you've been. Anytime you switch levels, move up a level, there's going to be a little bit of nerves. And the strike zone, sometimes you lose that for 10 minutes. And like I said, once he got through that first inning, he just knew things were going to get a lot better.
You said back to being Tristan. Who is Tristan to you?
Well, he's a ball player, and as a manager and baseball coaches, we don't use that term lightly. He's a guy, like, I knew him since 2017. I knew that he wants a uniform on his back. It's, eventually you use your degree and get a job, but you try to put that off as long as you can. So I knew that he was a guy who will play until someone rips the uniform off his back. And as a Red Hawks guy from the past and now the manager now, that's what we need. It's one of the reasons why we're so good, is because we have a team full of those guys. And not every team in our league can say that. They have guys who, even though they're talented, they're not all in. It's like, it's not, well, okay, let's see where this goes. It's, I'm here because I want to make myself better. I'm trying to get to the major leagues, and nothing's going to stop me. And that's what Tristan has.
You guys are also unique because you and him have a previous relationship. What was that like, coaching him for Legion Ball?
Well, my only disappointment is he didn't choose to go to Concordia, where I was at the time. No, and I knew, even though I did recruit him, I knew that he was going to probably, do something a little bit different, and it worked out really well. And when we signed him, I jokingly said, man, if you would have chose Concordia, you'd be a Red Hawk right now. Now he's a Red Hawk anyway, so it works out well. So for me, he's, like I said, he's a ball player, and he's only 22, 23 years old, and like we tell everybody at his age and his level, the best is yet to come, because as good as he is now, he has so much more room to get better, grow, as does everyone in this league. That's why they're here, and we're here to help him. Obviously, he's here to help us win games, but we're here to help him get better, progress, and hopefully one day maybe have his number up on here, retired, and be a major leaguer.
That'd be pretty cool because he's from here.
Yep.
Where are you hoping to see the most development in this game throughout the rest of the season?
Well, just a strike zone command. So it's not just throwing strikes, it's putting the ball where you need to. And the big thing at this level, the young college pitchers who succeed quickly at our level are the guys who have some form of a swing and miss pitch. And not just have a swing and miss pitch, but you get ahead 1 ball, 2 strikes, can you finish a guy? It's not easy to do at this level, because the team I'm looking at over here, we're playing tonight, I mean, they have 8 major leaguers on their team. They're not easy to put away. But in this league, if you want to progress and get to the next level, you get one of their hitters, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You have to be able to put them away, or it's going to be a long day for you.
You guys in Kansas City have a back and forth rivalry. What's it like when you guys go up against a team like this? And what was your advice to Tristan heading into a big series like this?
Well, it's turned into a really nice rivalry because both teams have been so good now for 3-4 years, and when you look at their roster, I mean, once again, they put together a AAA/Major League level team. So, they beat us 2 years in the finals, and then we beat them last year to get to the finals, and it seems like everything goes through Fargo or Kansas City. And I've got to know their manager really well. He's a huge Phillies fan. I played for the Phillies, so we have like these little fun, bets that we have and things like that usually.
So when I was talking with the head coach, Chris Coast, he said that they're trying to get another one of their Legion ball players to come, and that is Ryan Bourassa from South Dakota State. He's going to hold off because he wants to see what happens in the draft, but he said that door's not closed. So that South Dakota State Jackrabbit might come back up here to Fargo-Moorhead, so we'll just have to wait and see. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will chat some golf with some NDSU golfers. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Inform.com.
Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@WDAY.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday next week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
For 70 years, you've invited us into your homes as the most trusted source for news in the region.
That's why we continue to work so hard to keep you informed, providing more news today to more people than ever before.
We're the longest operating locally owned news station in the region.
And that's all thanks to you.
Thank you for making us the most trusted. Your voice for 70 years.
The news leader, WDAY News.
Send your weather-related photos or video to the WDAY Storm Tracker team. Contact weather@WDAY.com or share them with us on Facebook and Instagram. Keeping an eye on the sky. The WDAY Storm Tracker team.
In this job, you take your eye off it for 1 second. People can die.
Go now!
Don't think, just do it.
Get her out. Here we go.
Hey, slow breath.
I'm a firefighter, and I will always be a firefighter.
Did a great thing today.
It's all because of you.
Weekdays at 7 p.m. and 12:05 a.m.
News happens at all hours of the day and night.
Stories develop and situations change in the blink of an eye.
In our community, knowing where you can turn at any time of the day
for clear information and facts
is more important today than at any other time.
That's why we start our day
in the middle of the night
to gather new information
and be ready to bring it to you.
Tracking what has changed overnight and how that will impact your day today.
We're here for you with the most up-to-date news and weather
to get you on your way.
Because your community
is our community.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's alive. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
any real-world experience.
It's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Do you want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Come on, babe, let's go outside and take the boat out for a ride. I'm ready, I don't want to wait. Get on board. Got the sunshine and the short line. It's a good life. Get on board, get on board. Get on board.
This is Hot Mic. Hot Mic. On the networks of WDAY. WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hot Mic. We got some big golf weekend with the U.S. Open coming up. Tom Hoge actually just teed off, so we'll be sure to give you updates throughout the day with how he's doing. But it's also a big golf weekend, or next weekend will be a big golf weekend here in Fargo-Moorhead with the Red River Am. So I got some golfers that are competing in there here in studio, Ian Simonich and Nate DeZiel. Guys, thanks so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good. Okay, so you guys have both done this tournament before. And for those of you watching, you can watch that on WDAY Extra next weekend, starting on Friday. What is that tournament like for you guys?
For me personally, growing up in Moorhead and being a member at MCC for a long time, it's really cool. And now with you guys, I mean, it's nothing that we are ever a part of, being on TV. I mean, you see it at the professional level, right? But not in amateur golf, so it's really cool. You get the Jumbotron, and I mean, the TV crew is following you. So it's something that we've never been a part of, and it's really fun to experience.
I think it's by far the most exciting, thrilling event that we get to plan throughout the summer. You get to see a lot of fans from the community, members from the club. It's just really cool. The competition is great. It's grown throughout the last couple of years, and I just think it's really cool to, you can watch yourself on TV when it comes back. You don't really get to see that quite often, so it's just really fun.
Do you guys watch yourself back?
I haven't. I know you did. So 2 years ago, I wasn't able to play, so I caddied for him when he came in second. So, yeah. But I caddied for him, and then you ended up going to watch at Larry Murphy's house, right? With Kula.
Yep. Matt Kula and I went out to Larry Murphy's house, and he had it recorded, so we sat down and basically just watched ourselves play a round of golf, which is kind of super weird to see, but it was really cool.
I know personally for me, I hate watching myself back on TV. It's just kind of awkward because you're like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? So I judge myself super hard. But is there any extra pressure playing on TV? Because like you said, that's not a normal thing for you guys.
I would say yes and no to a point. I mean, every tournament that you go to, there's going to be pressure. It's holding yourself accountable now, knowing that you're on TV. Just because there's times throw it around, you get upset, but it's making sure you present yourself how you want to be presented. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing, I think, in my opinion. Just being holding yourself to that standard where you're like, all right, I'm just gonna be better than that. One bad shot's not gonna hurt. I don't need to get upset and throw a fit.
Yeah. Same with that, I guess. But last year, kind of just experiencing it for the first time, you're like, oh, this is a little different. So you're like on the green, you're trying to move out so the cameras can get shots and whatever. So it's just it's a little different than a normal tournament, right? But I think once the first ball's in the air and you kind of settle in, it's another golf tournament too. Yeah.
You find your mojo. I'll say that.
When you talk about holding your composure, I want to go back to what you said when you got second in that tournament. Was it hard to hold your composure in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little upset. You just kind of bite your lip and get through it. Worry about it after the round or wherever when you're in your car, but it's a really cool atmosphere. You're walking down hole 18. You got the big stand where TV's coming in, the crowd around the back of the green. That's where the pressure really sets in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really realize it until you're in the moment. It's just really cool. And then for example, you see hole 11 and 12, the big Jumbotron. You're hitting your putt, and next thing you know, you look up at the TV or the big Jumbotron, and you're seeing yourself. It's just a little bit delayed, so you're like, all right, yeah, cool. They're talking about me, and now I have to hit this putt. So it's just like you bear down and stay focused.
I got a funny story of that. So Larry Murphy, who is our volunteer assistant coach, he was commentating, and I had like a 4 or 5 footer for par on 11, and so like the jumbotron's there and the volume's on, so you're hearing what they're saying, and I'm over my putt, and all I hear is Murph go, "If he misses this, it's gonna be 4 or 5 feet by the hole as well." Like it was like, oh, that's not very comforting to hear, Murph. And then luckily I made it, but it's just like that. You just don't hear that in a normal tournament. So like you're thinking it obviously, but then you hear it out loud, and it's just funny.
I don't think I would like that. I'd be like, please be quiet. Like, don't talk about me while I'm about to go. And you had a similar situation that Nate had last year.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Yeah, mine was it was a little different. I mean, the conditions we had last year were so tough with the wind and everything, and yeah, I was right there. I played well on the front 9 the last day, and gave myself a chance on the back 9 where I had a lead a couple times, I think, actually, and then 16 I had a kind of an unfortunate turn of events happen. Well, actually hit my shot, and it's the island green, and it landed on the rough, so it was fine. And then had a little weird ruling where I thought the ball moved, but so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, just the pressure of it. I mean, 18 is tough, and put in the right trees, needed a par to force a playoff, and hit maybe one of the worst putts I hit all week to force the playoff, and it was not very good. So, like you said earlier, watching back, I did not watch that. I did not want to go through those emotions again. But so this year, we both have some revenge.
Is it a redemption tour this year at the Red River Am for you guys?
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to be thinking before this coming weekend?
I don't know. It's just making sure. I mean, he's got a couple events coming up, and I just finished a couple. So the game's in a good spot for both of us. It's just making sure everything's staying sharp. And I mean, we get the advantage of we work up there and play up there. So we're going to be able to see the course a little bit before everybody else, right? So just getting comfortable and continue. I mean, there's still going to be nerves for us, right? It's a tournament. It's a little different than when we go teed up with our buddies or whatever. So there'll be nerves, but I mean, we also have that extra knowledge and knowing kind of more about the course and how it's been throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, when we go play just a casual round or just for fun with buddies, it's not the same. The golf course is just completely changed. It gets firmer, it gets faster, rough is thick, and then it's just a different, it's a tournament rather than just a casual round. So the grounds crew, Ryan, does a fantastic job. Yeah. They make it a premier tournament, and one that I think we've seen grow over the last couple of years and will continue to grow, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is the competition like at this tournament?
So it's a lot of, in my opinion, it's a lot of just, some of the better players or the competitive players, I should say, in the Fargo-Moorhead area, local areas too. And then now we're starting to see a lot more of the college players,
Mm-hmm.
starting to see some interest and just show that they want to come and play and compete.
Yeah, that's where last couple of years I've done a good job of mentioning to the guys around Minnesota, like, hey, come up and play this. Like, we want to grow it and get it to be one of the elite amateur series kind of in the area. But then you get the mix of, it's just like the Pine to Palm, right? You get the mix of older guys, not to say older guys, but the guys, mid-ams, there you go. But then they, still get it out there. So then you have the good mix of mid-ams and college players, and then high school kids too, and local guys outside. So you create kind of, not these rivalries, but you see these guys a lot throughout the summer. So it's really fun to kind of, always competing against them. And then even, him and I will be, we put the tee in the ground the first day, we're enemies. Like we're playing against each other. We're trying to beat each other. So
yeah.
So hate losing to him.
What's that like for you guys? Because you guys are obviously great friends.
Yeah.
But when you have to go up and compete against each other, is it hard to flip that switch?
I would say it is when we're playing together, or when we're not playing together. It's easy to just kind of get in your own little zone when we're just paired up at different tee times. But when we're playing together, it's weird. I look at him a little differently, and he doesn't look at me either.
I was gonna say,
it's like the conversations are like non-existent.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just the different. I was gonna say, for me, I don't think it's that hard to flip the switch. I think when we played together last year, like, you just get in your own groove and your own bubble, and you're going right, and whether you have a caddy or not, you're kind of talking to them. They're your friend for the day. But if we're not playing together, you got to go off early, I think, on Fridays. So, like, I'm going to be looking scores, rooting for them. Like, I want them to be up there, right? But, I mean, I'm always going to keep an eye on him. At the same time, I'm not rooting for him too. Like I'm trying to beat him every time we play against each other. So, but it's all good fun. I mean, yeah, it'll be really fun.
It's the beauty of golf tournaments right there. You get to play with some of your best friends, people that you get to meet and become friends. And then you just get to go battle it out for whether it's 18, 36, or 54 holes. And I think that's really cool too. Is Ian mentioned it earlier, like the Pine to Palm. Those tournaments where we get to play against some of the better players, mid-ams and such. That's a match play. So it's really cool this week or this upcoming week is that it's stroke play. So tee it up and make sure you got a hole and everything counts and you're not just giving putts and stuff. So it's just kind of fun.
When does the trash talk start for you guys?
There's not going to be a ton of trash talk. I mean, everybody's got the thing like golfers are pretty classy and respectful. So I'm not going to be talking smack to them, but I mean,
too nice.
After the tournament, we'll be giving grief and whatever. I mean, last year there was one hole where we kind of every once in a while we played. I'm like, yeah, remember when you hit a driver out this tee and swiped it into the crap? And, so it's just kind of talk like that. It's not like, oh, I hope you suck today. It's like, we want them to play well, but it's just a little different.
You guys are too nice. If I was playing against someone I was friends with, oh my gosh, just go off on them. Yeah. Like you guys said, you guys work at Moorhead Country Club. Is there an advantage to constantly being and playing that course?
I think it gives you like a little bit better understanding on the shots that you're going to need to hit, and just like course experience and knowledge. You get to play it a couple times, and you get more familiar and more comfortable with playing the course when it comes tournament time.
Yeah, absolutely. And our bosses are awesome, Zach and Goose. We're fortunate to have them. They let us play in whatever we want and wherever. So it's they let us practice out there, be out there. We're around there all the time, right? But then being able to play the course is a big advantage, right? And then kind of we get to hear from our bosses, what's going to go on with you guys and setup and what's going on. And so we get to see that part too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we are very fortunate to be able to play up there.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the conditions because you mentioned how last year it was so
awful,
windy, and it was raining.
Yeah,
when you did it, right?
There's quite a few hour rain delay there.
Does that throw your game off at all? Like, how much does the weather, especially at that course, play an effect?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you enter like a weather delay, it's always it's weird, right? If you're playing well, like you don't want to come off the course, right? But then sometimes when you're struggling off to a bad start, it's nice to kind of have that reset. But being able to, if you kind of prepare yourself, if you know weather's going to come in throughout the day for the possibility of it happening, but then you can only control what you can control, right? So if it happens, and you just got to deal with that. But yeah, it's just unique, and every situation, every rain delay is different, and yeah, you can speak on it a little more when it happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Mother Nature is whatever you get. It's just you got to play battle through it. I would say so during that rain delay, it's one thing, going into the day that it's potentially gonna rain, and it might rain constantly all day, and we got plenty of rain where play had to get called off.
It was like a monsoon. There was standing water on the greens, and it was
drenched.
Yeah.
Definitely unplayable.
Yeah, I don't think I was here when that happened, but they constantly talked about how disgusting it was that entire weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at the weather right now. Guess what it's saying for Friday and Sunday?
No,
is it actually?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Awesome. Love that.
We got rain next week?
Rain, it's a low percentage, so hopefully it'll change. But some rain is in the forecast. Again, it's a week out, so we'll see. Yeah. But that's what it's looking right now.
Jeez, this event
just start mentally preparing now is what my advice to you.
Yeah, you got to expect the unexpected. So
exactly. All right, we're going to take a quick break. They're going to stick around, and we'll talk more golf when we come back right after this. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is you don't always know what's causing them.
He had a reaction triggered by cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestroll.org.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
The end of hunger and poverty starts here. Your gift of an animal from Heifer International can help a family with food and income, all while caring for the earth. Heifer International. Learn more at heifer.org.
For children fighting critical illness, we can make the stars align. Because when we come together, hope and joy will shine. Help us make every wish come true.
I'm Naheem Hines. I support the Muscular Dystrophy Association because they help my mom and kids like Ethan.
Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before.
Join us and learn more at MDA.org today.
When you or a loved one is diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it can be tough to know where to turn. But the Alzheimer's Foundation of America is here for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people through our 7-day-a-week helpline, connected communities nationwide with information and support through our Educating America tour. And our telephone-based support groups meet weekly, providing assistance and support to families. We do it all because of one thing, you. Join us in the fight against Alzheimer's and donate today. alzfdn.org or call 866-232-8484.
Here it is. Look how cheap it is.
Go for it, Steph.
Be careful what you buy online.
It's finally here.
Counterfeit products are illegal. They are fake and can be damaging to you, your property, and your wallet.
It looks real, but I don't have a good feeling about this. Whoa, no, get out!
Buying fake products can cost you the health of your face, skin, and eyes, or scar you for life. Real products are tested for safety. Buy the brand. Protect yourself. This message is brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
You're smart. Buy smart.
Go for real.
Go for real.
Go for real. Federal investigators blame human error for a deadly natural gas explosion.
We all remember where we were that morning.
We could actually see the smoke from our farm here, which is close to 20 miles away.
It started to pull right off the bat. Both tractors just kind of started to spin out, and those are big tractors. So I knew something wasn't right. Out of nowhere, I just heard a big boom. The tile plow ruptured into the pipeline. Once the gas got through the intakes of the tractors is when it ignited. As soon as I heard that boom, I started running as fast as I could. The ground literally started erupting from my feet.
They were highly respected and they were good at what they did. It was one of those accidents that, when it was done, made people step back and pause. If an accident can happen to them, it can happen to anyone.
Watch the rest of the story at 3secondslater.org. And remember, Farm Safe starts by contacting 811.
Today, we simply don't know enough about autism. Spark, the largest study of autism ever, is transforming the way this research is done. But we need everyone in the community to participate. Learn more at sparkforautism.org.
Welcome back to Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL. The Red River AM tournament is next weekend here in Moorhead. You can watch that on WDAY Extra starting on Friday. So I got two of the golfers, Ian Simonich, Nate DeZiel with me. You guys just wrapped up your season, though, I guess a few months ago at NDSU. What was this past season like for you?
Yeah, it was really good. We had high expectations coming into the year, and we had a really good fall. And then it took us a little while to get going in the spring, and it ended a little earlier than we all expected it to. For sure, everybody will say that. There's no sugarcoating that. But we had individual winners. We had a bunch of team wins and visited some pretty cool places and some unforgettable memories too. So
yeah, I think for me it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
You have so much success, just the experiences throughout the last couple of years. The guys that you get to hang out with, they become your best friends. Some of your roommates. It's just awesome. Everything about golf, playing college golf, is just really cool. And I think some of the best moments and experiences, memories come from, outside of playing actual golf. I mean, it's just spending time together. It's those 7 a.m. practices, those, 3 o'clock or 6 a.m. workouts. Like, it's just little things like that makes the time here for me. And I hope for the guys on the team, just really enjoyable.
Well, and how weird is it for you because you've been doing this for the past 5 years and now it's done? I mean, what's next for you?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue this summer playing as an amateur, and then eventually down the road, I'm going to give this whole professional golf thing a try.
Nice.
No set date on when I'll turn professional, but just know that it will be in the future.
What's that process like?
So I'm still really unfamiliar with how it works. Trying to pick people's brains that did turn professional. What I've come to believe is that you basically, give up your amateur status and declare professional through, I think it's through some sort of website. And then that just then changes your entry fee prices from a fairly reasonable price to now roughly little over $1,000
Oh my gosh.
per tournament entry. So,
Per tournament?
Yeah. It gets to be a spendy sport.
Yeah.
But
wow. Okay. That's just really crazy. I didn't know that that was that expensive, but that's exciting.
Yeah,
or is it nerve wracking?
I'm nervous because I would love to make it, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what it is. If I don't make it, you know what? I'm going to go try to get my amateur status back. If I don't have any success, which shouldn't stop me, but then I'll just go get a big boy job and figure out life going forward.
So you can literally just sign up and be like, oh, I want to be a pro, or like, do you have to like have a certain requirements?
I think there's specific requirements.
Okay.
Once again, I'm not sure exactly. Not just some Joe Schmo could say he's turning professional. I think it has to do with the scores that you shoot, kind of like the resume that you build.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm just gonna sign up and say I'm a pro golfer, but I'm
Right.
not spending $1,000 to enter any tournament.
Yeah.
What about for you? You just wrapped up your sophomore year?
Yep. Yeah. So I'll be a junior back at NDSU, and we look to have another good year. We have really awesome schedule coming up in the fall, and then again in the spring. So, we have with you and a couple other guys getting out here, so we're gonna have some new chances, some new younger guys to move up and step into some bigger roles, and it'll be really fun. So we have now kind of being, I don't know, kind of a vet on the team. I guess I've played my first 2 years. I've played in a lot of tournaments, so knowing kind of what's going on and then being a leader on the team is going to be a different role for me. But I'm
Yeah.
excited about it, and it'll be really fun.
What gets you excited about being a leader?
I just like, sharing my experiences. Like there's going to be times, I specifically remember my first college tournament and the night before kind of bouncing ideas off these guys. Like at the same, it's a little different, but it's not too at the same time. You're playing for a team, and it's a little, it's different than high school. It's 5 guys, and so it's the sharing my experiences, and then just being a guy that the other guys can come to, ask for advice, and bounce ideas off of, right, and then contribute. Like I want to do my job to contribute, and that's kind of how I want to be a leader on the team. So yeah.
Obviously, you've learned a lot from Nate.
Absolutely.
What are you
Nate-
taking from him?
Nate has been phenomenal. He's kind of been my mentor, I think, from day one. I've always looked up to him. He does a phenomenal job with how he conducts himself around NDSU, how he interacts with people, and it's more than just outside of golf. It's building relationships within NDSU, whether it's faculty members, other coaches, and then people in the community, and like seeing what he's done. He's left an unbelievable mark on the program, and he's learned from guys before him, and now kind of my job, and others on our team that we hope to fill his shoes. And obviously we got big shoes to fill with him being a Summit League champion and things like that. So I have learned from the best. It's all on me now, and I'm excited for that.
Pressure's on. That's gotta make you feel good, though.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate everything that I've gotten, everything that NDSU has offered me, the people that I've got to know, the resources, the help and support along the way. I'm just really excited. Like I once said, it's bittersweet, but it's just really cool, to watch these guys come in from freshman year and just see so much growth and progress, not only in their golf abilities, but the individual and the person that they are. It's just really cool to see them grow and kind of progress through their college life.
Yeah.
We are witnessing a true bromance right in front of our eyes.
Well, and I think that's one thing for me too, is like I grew up an only child. Still am an only child. But these guys on the team that I got to spend the last couple of years with, they're my best friends. I get to spend as much time as I want with them, or as little as I want as well.
That's nice. You can pick and choose.
Yeah, exactly. They're awesome. Wouldn't do anything. I would do anything for these guys.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. The U.S. Open is this weekend. Yep. Who are your guys' favorite golfers, and who are you pulling for?
That's funny. We texted one of our guys in our group chat, and our team group chat texted the other day, and I kind of just pulled up a response, and not necessarily, but I mean, Brooks Koepka's so good. I mean, he's Darth Vader out there. He walks around, and he's like,
I love him, and I was telling you guys I'm not that into golf, but he is like the reason why I watch.
I mean, he's a stone cold killer, and that's what it is. Like, I mean, he's got a chance to really mark his name in golf history as one of the greats this week, and I mean,
if he already hasn't already.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's already been so successful.
But you got to think he's going to be within one or two or in the lead coming down the final 9 on Sunday. So it's Brooks Koepka's my pick. Book it. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a ride or die Rory McIlroy fan.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's playing well or playing bad, I'm always going to ride with him. So I hope he has a good week. And I just think he's been someone I looked up to. So
would you say that you guys model your play after those two guys?
Absolutely. No. No. I got my own style. Like, I mean,
what is the Ian Simonich style?
Well, so usually, I mean, I'm very like kind of like a game manager in a way. I'm like I'm not too crooked off the tee. I don't bomb it. I get it out there, and then I mean, I always try to play boring golf. It's kind of a term that my dad and we talked about in high school, and just, I mean, fairways and greens, just dumbing it down, being simple, and you give yourself enough looks, they're gonna fall in for birdies. So that's usually my game, is just try to be really simple and nothing flashy. But yeah, I'd say you're kind of the same way.
Yeah, I've definitely progressed into the boring golf at times, where beforehand I was really making these rounds interesting on myself. You know, up and down rounds of doubles, triples, eagles, birdies. I mean, little mix of everything. Where now I guess it's made sense to me that boring golf is where the good golf is played. Simplifying everything and just eliminating mistakes.
Yeah,
I would not be a boring golfer. I'd be out there just doing whatever. I don't even know what I'd be doing if I played golf. Like I told you guys, not a pretty thing to watch me golf. Guys, I really appreciate you coming in today. Good luck next weekend. We'll be watching you on the big TV.
Thank
you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Like I said, the Red River Am is next weekend. You can watch starting at noon on Friday on WDAY Extra. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some of the Vikings with Gabe Henderson. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and KSFL.
I went back into the theater last night.
And I'd say, how was the show? What he did was act out the performance more.
Next live from Asteroid City, Scarlett Johansson. Plus summer skin and beauty bargains. And Foodfluencer Friday.
When you go see art in New York City, you want to chop it up? What do the young kids say?
They don't know because they've never used that phrase before.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@wday.com. Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday next week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge.
Hello, I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. Please request our free guide filled with facts about dementia. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
More than 1 in 10 Americans live in poverty. A grandmother chooses between heat and her medication. A man, cold and stoic, silently cries for help. A mother skips a meal so her child gets an extra helping. Newcomers escape conflict, only to struggle to find their footing in the U.S. This year, Catholic Charities agencies will serve more than 15 million people in need. Join us as we lift our sisters and brothers out of poverty. Because this isn't a handout, it's a hand up. Learn more at reducepoverty.org. Together, we are changing lives.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Welcome back to Hot Mic. Looking to clear up a little bit out there today. Another nice day here in Fargo. Let's talk some Vikings because they just wrapped up minicamp. Lots of questions with this minicamp. So we got a little team insider, Gabe Henderson, joining me. Gabe, welcome. It's been so long since we've had you on the show.
Right, I always jump on it, so I appreciate having me on. Always a great time talking to you, Logan. This is a great time of the year to not only talk about football, but also get a little bit of a break between mandatory minicamp and training camp. So thanks for having me on again.
Of course. Yeah, so like you just said, wrapped up minicamp. Tell us, what are your first initial thoughts when you're looking at this team?
Well, we got a lot better when Justin Jefferson came on Tuesday. It's just the JJ effect is real. You could feel that Tuesday when he arrived, and then Wednesday at practice. It was just a new energy, and this team is so young. Byron Murphy Jr., cornerback for the Vikings, just signed a free agency. I believe he's 25. He's the oldest defensive back, or the oldest cornerback in the actual cornerback room. So the fact that we're getting younger, this team is starting to thrive under this Brian Flores scheme. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it can be. This is the first time since I've been living in Minnesota that I guess went into training camp feeling excited. I wouldn't say feeling confident, but feeling excited about our DB. This is young energy, got some experience, so we'll see what year 2 looks like.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the secondary in just a little bit. You talked about the JJ effect. We're showing some video of him jumping around, dabbing up his teammates, hip checking his teammates. What are the vibes with him? And, obviously there were high expectations for him last year, but what are they for him this year?
Be better than where he was last year. I believe he finished the season with over 1,800 receiving yards. He wants to become the first receiver to finish a year with over 2,000. So that's going to take a lot of hard work, and he understands that. Yeah, he wasn't at OTAs or the other organized team activities this offseason, but he's been putting in that work, and you can tell. So just to have him back out there, it's like we didn't skip a beat. When I saw him in the building on Tuesday, the first thing he did was like, bro, like I haven't seen you in a minute. And I'm like, well, we're waiting on you to come back. So it's like he hasn't skipped a beat at all. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what that looks like here in purple and your number 4 form, which is crazy to say he's going to your number 4.
That is actually crazy. And I'm sure Vikings fans are loving to hear it is like nothing has skipped a beat, especially after the season that they had last year. I want to talk about just the offense in general. Kirk Cousins, what have you seen from him during this mini camp and OTAs?
He's a lot more relaxed. I know people have been seeing some of the videos of him chartering a private plane with his offensive lineman. And I guess he took those guys on a private plane back to his hometown. And just seeing that from Kirk on top of, we had Jersey Day the other day, and he wore an Allen Iverson Georgetown jersey. And it's just like,
love it.
Kirk, that's so not on brand for what you are and like who you've been. But I love this out of Kirk. Like, this is the Kirk that just, it's like, this is the last year of my contract. I'm a bet on myself. And clearly that I guess added, pressure has kind of released some pressure for him. It's just like, what? Like, at this point, it is what it is. It's going to go out there, be a good teammate, be loose, and hopefully that leads us to the promised land. So Kirk is Kirk, right? Like, he's accurate. He's a leader. Like, you know what you're getting out of him every single play. To see him more relaxed this year, I believe that's the most exciting part of seeing him develop into another year under Kevin O'Connell.
So you mentioned how it's his last year of his contract. Reports came out yesterday. They're not going to talk about it until next March. What did Kevin O'Connell and Kirk have to say about that?
It's just one of those things where, Kirk got, some of that money converted into a signing bonus last year. And it's, similar to his deal in Washington. I wouldn't say it's a franchise tag, but it's like, hey, if you are good enough, go out there and earn a contract. Like, you've been getting paid, you can get long-term, fully guaranteed deals, for the past few years. So we want you as our quarterback is what Kevin O'Connell was saying. It's just, hey, right now, go out there and prove it. Like, remove our personal relationship aside. Like, this is a business. Like, what can you do for this team? And to basically say, this is our quarterback of the future. So Kirk is all on board. If you look at the years where Kirk played on his final year of his contract or a franchise tag, that's when he played his best football. So I'm expecting nothing less.
It also came out yesterday that there's a new documentary coming out on Netflix. Did you see this? Called Quarterbacks. And Kirk is one of the featured quarterbacks in it.
Yeah.
How cool is it that we're going to see this totally different side of Kirk?
Yeah, it's exciting. I've seen a little bit of it already. And I would say Kirk is a polarizing figure, right? Like, he's, he is who he is, but at the same time, if you hated Kirk, like if you were not a Kirk fan before watching the documentary, I believe you'll leave being like, okay, like I can deal with Kirk. Like I respect him for who he is and why he does what he does. So we kind of, I won't give away too much, but Mahomes is Mahomes, right? Like he has the name, has the ring, like just Patrick Mahomes. Everybody knows who he is, but I believe Kirk. People will leave Netflix quarterback docuseries talking about Kirk Cousins.
I was gonna ask you, do you have any inside information that you can share about what we might see from Kirk? I feel like we might have just lost him. Gabe, do we have you?
Yeah, I hear you guys. Yeah, I hear you. I don't see you, but I'm here.
Okay, Gabe is here.
This is turned into
This is live TV.
This has officially turned into a podcast.
This has officially turned into a podcast. People are getting a lot of looks at me. Oh, there you are. Okay, Gabe. So, are you allowed to share any inside information of what we might see from Kirk? Do you even know?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to share too much outside of you'll see him a lot. You'll see the grind that he puts in every single week to pretty much, I guess, be the starting quarterback every week, be QB1. Just some of the hits, some of the meetings that he's been a part of. Like he was mic'd up every single day at practice this year. Like I remember seeing the film crew for Netflix every single day at practice. And I just talked to those guys, having them mic'd up, and you're going to see some really cool unseen footage of Kirk and a really in a really good light. Like I talked to Kirk yesterday a little bit about it, and he was like, he just hopes it's viewed by the audience as something positive because ultimately he is who he is.
Well, I feel like, I saw a glimpse of it last season, and just to see that grow even more and more is going to be so fun and so exciting to watch. All right, I got to ask you kind of a tough question, and I know it's kind of putting you on the spot as a team reporter, but, I mean, the biggest storyline is Danielle Hunter not showing up to mandatory minicamp. Are the red flags up a little bit?
I wouldn't say they're red flags, simply because there's reports out there that the Vikings are basically willing to bump his salary up, or at least, I guess not. I wouldn't say fine him, but basically he's going to make that money back, and they're trying to work out a deal to bring him back and have some healthy dialogue for him to return a Viking. I mean, if that doesn't work, there's going to be plenty of trade opportunities for Danielle out there. He's a once in a lifetime or a generational talent when it comes to a pass rusher when healthy. So
right,
like Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Demensa said, it would be great to have Danielle Hunter back in purple this year. But you definitely want to give the man his respect, and hopefully that's a number that's acceptable by both sides.
Well, how much do you think his health has had an effect on coming to an agreement? Oh, Gabe got lucky; it cut out at just the right time.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Is that a question you can answer?
Okay. Say that one more time.
I said, how much of his health do you think has an effect on coming to an agreement?
I mean, that goes into, when you talk about contract situations, like player health, player availability, like that's a huge talking point. I mean, that affects numbers and value, but I would say on, Danielle's end, he was healthy all 17 games last year, and he got better towards the tail end of the season. So in a league of what have you done for me lately, I'm sure both sides are negotiating that, and hopefully they'll come to a healthy number of what that looks like if he's back in purple this year, which personally I hope.
I think we all hope that we see him back there. But, like you said, both parties have to come to an agreement. But if they don't, what does this mean for the Vikings defense?
Yeah, I mean, you sign a guy in Marcus Davenport this offseason who a really good pass rusher when healthy. He's been healthy all training camp, and he's a veteran in this league. I mean, outside of him, Patrick Jones II and DJ Wonnum have both been getting some valuable reps. DJ Wonnum's in a contract year. Patrick Jones II came on very strong towards the end of last season. So there's some solid guys there that could provide some extra added value. But at the same time, you do want Danielle back in purple to kind of continue to lead those guys up front, because you're only as good as your backups, and if your backups isn't as strong, you're dependent on a guy who is a generational talent only being 60% because he's out there every single play. So hopefully those other guys are, DJ Wonnum and Patrick Jones II of the world. They're getting some valuable reps right now in place that Danielle Hunter isn't back in purple this year.
Right. And you talk about backups. I mean, we saw a big story last week with Dalvin Cook getting released. What have you seen from the running back so far during minicamp?
It's been, honestly, it's kind of been business as usual. Alexander Mattison has been taking the reps with the one since mid-April when players reported back for organized team activities. Every single running back has been here. We drafted Dwayne McBride in the 7th round this past year. It's going to be an operation by committee. And Alexander Mattison, he's gotten starting running back reps in the past in games. He's done well with that. Dalvin Cook is such a pivotal member of this Minnesota Vikings team, and not having him here this year, that's going to be a huge void. But at the same time, I believe that the running backs in the room right now can fill that void and hopefully lead this team to hopefully getting double-digit wins again, again.
Well, what are the expectations for Alexander Mattison heading into this season, and what is everyone in the Vikings facility hoping to see from him during this offseason?
I don't think there are many numerical goals for him. I believe it's just being better. Like you've earned this opportunity. It's the business of it, but the business of it's like, hey, we had to get out of the cap, so we had to let go of Dalvin Cook. It's been a 1-2 punch ever since you've been a Minnesota Viking. Now you've worked for that opportunity to be the starting running back. So just go out there and do what you do best. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Like, we know what we have in you and Alexander Mattison. And I believe he's not putting any added pressure on himself. Like, he's the same. I mean, Alex is the same guy today that I met when I first got hired by the Vikings. Just seeing him grow as a human being, as a father, just as a teammate, like this is going to be a big year for him. I'm excited to see what he can do.
I'm excited as well. And like you said, Dalvin Cook was such a pivotal player for this Vikings team. Where are you hoping to see him end up? We gotcha.
Go ahead. You said Dalvin Cook was, yeah, you were talking about Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I was just saying, where are you hoping to see him end up? Because he said he's not going to rush anything. He wants to take his time and make sure it's the right fit. So where do you see him potentially going?
There's so many options out there, right? Like, the Dolphins make the most sense. He's going back home. He's been posting about it a little bit. I believe he just wants to get paid his values. So wherever he lands, whatever team it is, like they're getting a generational running back. Like remove just, personal opinions about his shoulder and, that popping out of place of him being healthy. Like when Dalvin's healthy, like he's a top 5 running back in this league, if not top 3. So he'll be fine. I'll put it that way. Dalvin will be fine. Whatever team gets him, he's going to make that team better. So
100%.
Anybody that knows Dalvin Cook, he's an emotional leader. He's a great guy. So yeah, he'll be fine.
Gabe, really fast, just because I don't know the next time we're going to have you on. We got the schedule up. What is the game that you're looking forward to the most this season?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Week 5, Kansas City Chiefs defending Super Bowl champions. Like, that's first time Patrick Mahomes has played in US Bank Stadium. It doesn't get much better than that. Like, that game is going to be sold out.
You think?
Like that one.
That one,
yeah,
week
right.
5.
Hopefully. Hopefully fans will show up for that one. Who knows?
All right, I'm going to circle that one, and I will be one of the people in those seats then. You said it. We heard it here first. Week 5 against Kansas City, sold out. Gabe Henderson said it first. Gabe, I really appreciate you giving us the time. I know you're super busy with everything happening with the Vikings.
Thanks for having me on, Logan.
We'll talk soon. Gabe Henderson, everyone, Vikings team reporter. Always a pleasure having him on and giving us all the insights with Minnesota. They open up this season Sunday, September 10th against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A little homecoming for Cody Mauch. Very exciting. And like we all know, NDSU will open up their season, NDSU football that is, at US Bank September 2nd. So we will be there, which is exciting. I've never been to US Bank Stadium, so I'm excited to get there. All right, we're going to take our final break, wrap this show up, and get you all on your way. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Inform.com.
Stay prepared for the days and nights ahead with the best weather team. Download the Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Get alerts and updates straight from the WDAY Storm Tracker team with accurate weather reports specific to your area. Just search WDAY in the Apple or Google Play Store. Download the Storm Tracker app and be ready to plan your day. The Storm Tracker app, powered by Laney's. Download it today.
Bob, what's up, man? Hey, how are you? Good, man. Where's Mom? Back in the kitchen. I'll talk to him. He'll do it. He'll do it. I promise. Hey, Dad, we need to talk. The game. All right, Dad. So,
Hey, I hear your mom calling me. I gotta go.
Seriously? Dad, you need to go.
Really?
It's important.
I feel fine.
I just got mine. It's easy. Hey, I didn't want to go either, but then I saw the stats. Some cancers, man, we just don't want to lose you from something we could have caught. What I need to do? You just give your doctor a call. They'll tell you what screening test you need.
Fine. Can I have my pie now? Oh, man.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day we encounter people who are having the worst day of their entire lives.
Does it get any easier?
Nope.
It takes a certain kind of person to run towards danger rather than run away from it.
Why is this job so important to you?
Growing up, I never saw any heroes who looked like me.
And that's what a hero looks like.
Help is on the way.
Sundays at 8 p.m.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team to help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
On the next Tamron Hall, actress Jennifer Grey talks about her ripped from the headlines role. It tells the story of an astonishing rise and shocking fall of a controversial religious leader accused of creating a weight loss cult. We've never seen you take on a role like this one.
I've never seen me take on a role like this one.
It's Jennifer like you've never seen her before. Plus, we finally get an update on the Dirty Dancing sequel Jennifer is executive producing next Tamron Hall.
Weekdays at 2 p.m.
I've been doing this for a long time. Somebody has to stand up for victims.
Detective Stabler, my partner, Detective Benson.
The world is changing. It took a lot of courage to get up on that stand. There's no stigma in coming forward. Please help me stop him.
He's not gonna ever be able to hurt you again. I promise you, I'll protect you. I'm not gonna stop until we find this guy.
Weekdays at 12 p.m.
All right. Here's what to watch later today. The First Place Twins taking on the Tigers, 6 p.m. on Bally Sports North. Big news, everyone. I'm finally going to my first Twins game this weekend. I'm so pumped to see Target Field. It's going to be so fun. U.S. Open is already underway, I believe. But you can start watching at 12 p.m. on USA Network. Tom Hoge, I just had him on. Last I checked, he was tied 14th, even through 3 rounds, 3 holes. So, and then thank you to the people in the back. They know I love my soccer. USA, Mexico, CONCACAF semifinals, 9 p.m., Paramount Plus. Fun fact, my first beer shower when I was 8 years old at the CONCACAF semifinals when they were playing, actually, Mexico. That was a great time. Philly's a very scary place. That's where I went to go and watch at Lincoln Financial Field. But yes, that's going to be a great game. You guys aren't going to want to miss that. I just got in contact with Michael Tutsi. He's going to join me tomorrow on the show, so we'll hear from him about what this experience has been like for him. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I had a great time. Thank you to all my guests that came on, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Yeah, great Thursday. All right, I hope you guys have a fun and enjoy outside today. You've been watching Hot Mic on WDAY Extra and Inform.com.
Now is your chance to win a WDAY Storm Tracker rain gauge, and you can take one home for free. Send your pictures to weather@WDAY.com to Tune to WDAY News for your chance to win, and we'll choose one lucky winner during every newscast Sunday through Saturday next week. Don't miss your chance to take one home for free. Track your weather with the WDAY Storm Tracker Rain Gauge.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus up to 32 miles per gallon. A 260 horsepower turbocharged engine, advanced technology, and an extra-large touchscreen. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
It's Outback Days, going on now at Muscatel Subaru.
When you're injured or have serious health problems, some lawyers focus on just one aspect of your case.
At the Schneider Law Firm, we pursue every form of compensation. We help you get Social Security disability benefits and litigate your personal injury case.
When injured on the job, we can help with workers' comp. No matter what, for us, it's about results for you.
Call 877-740-2525, the Schneider Law Firm. There's no fee unless you win.
The Red River Amateur Championship is coming to you live from the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th. All are invited to the course to watch the tournament in person. Follow your favorite golfers or watch on the big screen in the alley with food and beverages available. Can't make it to the course? Watch live all 3 days on WDAY Extra and streaming at Inforum.com. The Red River Amateur Championship live at the Moorhead Country Club, Friday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 25th.
Still a little hazy out there due to the wildfire smoke. Just don't smell it like we did yesterday for most of us. If you check out the satellite radar, some showers and thunder showers off toward the west. This is along a cold front, which is going to take its sweet time heading toward the valley. So we'll be tracking that cold front here eventually, but we're talking more about that smoky haze that's in the sky and that cold front, how that will change things up for us as we head into the weekend and what that will mean for our weekend weather. All this coming up here on WDAY News, which starts right now.
Now at 11, some but not all.